I'm Pio. I'm here with my co-host Nifty Nick and the Sophisticated Art Speculator. We have a Sunday morning live stream for you guys, and today we want to talk about finding valuable NFTs in a bear market. Something that we've been talking about is that we're speculating that a bear market could be coming in the near future. Relative to NFTs being priced against ETH. This doesn't necessarily apply to USD pricing. So we want to talk about finding value in such a situation. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and join our Discord if you want to continue the conversation after the show. How you gentlemen doing this morning?
Phenomenal.
I'm doing really well. You know, I'm a sort of low maintenance type of person, don't really make any demands on anybody. And so that's the type of the morning's just going real smooth. Woke up with joy in my heart. That's what I did. Love these guys.
Well, I'm really happy.
They're great.
I'm really happy to hear that, Nick. And we love you too. We're happy to have you as a partner. One project that I thought it was relevant to talk about is Doodles. Well, yes, I'm going to pull up Doodles right now. But Doodles is a project that you just bought into that we've been
Nick
talking
made a
about.
buy.
Nick
In a bear market, your boy bought a Doodle in a bear market. I had set a target price and I went against that. I said it's going to it's going to 0.8. It dropped down to 1 ETH, bounced off of that to where it is right now, basically. And I bought just above the floor because I wanted one that I thought looked cute.
Okay.
Very nice.
I like it.
I like it too. And so, Nick, could you kind of give us a little assessment or just like a synopsis, I guess, of the background of this project, who's involved, what had you interested, and maybe any sort of like events that have taken place since the project launched?
Yeah. So Poopy Cat and Evan Keast are two former CryptoKitties, literally on the team helping build CryptoKitties. They built out this own NFT project on their own. They're full-time focused on this. It looked like Nate Alex was on the team when at NFT NYC, which is crazy because he's from NFT 42 and which is like a great team. He's an OG among OGs. So there were a few people involved with this project that I'm like, this seems like potentially a Cryptodes sort of play. Like this is what it felt like. I got in at Cryptodes at 1.2 or 1.25, I think. Could have been as high as 1.5.
1.7?
Could have been 1.5. I don't know what the amount that I got in at, but it was somewhere around 1.2 to 1.7, somewhere in that range. And then it went up to 15, and I looked like a genius. I didn't sell at 15, so now I feel like an idiot. But
and it went up to 15 for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. And Doodles, when you see those straight lines, remember, that's a good time to sell. So when straight vertical lines into the sky, good indicator that you want to get out of that. But what were you going to say, Nick?
I'm with you in terms of like, I think that this has the markings of a high quality project. It has a really strong team, a team that is going to actually focus time and energy on making this project a long-term thing. I like the metrics on it. It's almost at 50% ownership. So I think that's great. I'm also a big fan that they properly call this thing a community treasury, not a DAO. So they have people with brains on the team that like understand that, yeah, we shouldn't call it a DAO. It's a community treasury that you can vote on and we can do fun things with it. But yeah, it has a lot of good markings to me. So I think if you're looking to what you're trying to do in a bear market, there's literally only two tactics. One is you're trying to catch a swing trade or a pump on something, right? Because there's isolated pumps here and there, but that's really hard to do. The only other thing you can do is try to buy good projects that you think are underpriced because they're in a bear market, and when a bull market takes off, they're going to appreciate in value rapidly. So this fits into the latter for me. So yeah, I like this.
So I originally didn't love the art. I saw a lot of people hyping in. I missed I wasn't early enough to get whitelisted, and so I was a little bit pissed about that. And the same thing happened with cryptos, where I was a little bit frustrated, and I'm like, man, screw this project. I didn't get in on the whitelist. This is bullshit. Blah blah blah. Then I saw that CryptoFunks had gone up to 1 ETH. Great, maybe they go to 5 ETH at some point. It is a punked version of CryptoPunks, to be completely honest, but although CryptoPunks are arguably punks relative to the art world, but as it applies to CryptoFunks, I'm like, 1 ETH is a great gain on this. I went from 0.1 to 1 ETH or something like that, or 0.05 to 1 ETH. And so then I'm like, cool, let me move that 1 ETH into this doodle. I paid up an extra 0.4. I think I bought it 1.4. And so I just made the decision to go in because this feels like something. If this is holding up this strong in a bear market, then I'm like, this has massive potential here, and I just want to be in.
I agree with you. You're kind of convinced me to want to buy one. Another thing that I looked at, and Nick, you pulled up some data about this in the past, is in the macro sense, how many people in the OpenSea market are selling to offers versus selling to the floor, market buys. And I think that that's a great macro indicator, but you can also use that same indicator on an individual project and try to understand the strength of the holders and also the buying activity that's happening on the project, right? Because if holders are paper hands and also there's not floor buying activity, then you're going to see a high ratio of sales dumping to offers. I just looked at the last 24 hours for doodles. I kind of just scrolled through. I'm estimating there was like 60 to 70 sales over the last 24 hours, and only 3 of them were dumping to offers.
Yeah.
So that's a very low percentage. That's less than 5%. That's like 3%.
Bored Apes, on the other hand, are heavily skewed towards WETH offers at the moment, which means that you get some people that are, Nick looks rough and still came on the show.
I think you look phenomenal. He showered. I haven't showered in 3 days, so I think he's probably talking about me. But I'm with you. The thing with the Ape project is that people are dumping to offers, not because there's a lot of paper handlers, but because there's not a lot of floor buying activity due to the high price.
So one thing you were talking about, the macro sense of offers, we hit a high of 8.45% offers on Halloween. We've actually been dropping. Now, that said, I don't know what day we hit that peak ETH price. We're now inching back towards that at the moment. That was on November 3rd. So, but the real run up ended November 2nd. So we see moving into November 2nd, it was 8% offers. The day before 8.4, the day before 8.45. But those run-ups tend to readjust. And so that's where doodles came down to 1. I would say if you want to get in this on a deal, if you want to try and perfectly time the market, see if ETH can break out. It hasn't been able to. It's hit some resistance already against this 4,600 level, 4,635. Either this turns out to be double top area, or we pierce through. If we pierce through, then there's going to be some opportunities for this to potentially drop down to 1 ETH or below.
So I want to talk about that. Yeah, I want to talk about that. So what I've pulled up on the screen right now is Plan B. For people that don't know, Plan B is an anonymous, analyst and finance, animal, so to speak.
I remember him from my dating years.
Okay, nice. Wow, geez. So
Had to use that a lot, huh, Nick?
Jeez. So Plan B, he is a Bitcoin analyst. He's the inventor of the stock to flow model, which Bitcoiners, look to as the sort of definitive model to, at a macro level, pay attention to Bitcoin's price action. And the reason I'm bringing up Bitcoin and talking about Bitcoin is because the entire crypto market moves with Bitcoin, at least to some capacity. And ETH is essentially married to the price of Bitcoin with higher highs, lower lows, and a lot of fireworks in between, right? So it's not that they move 100% in parallel, but ETH absolutely moves with Bitcoin. And So I've been studying Bitcoin since March 2020. Everything that everyone that's in Bitcoin expected to happen is currently happening here. The only sort of thing that didn't happen exactly as expected was the mid-year sort of bear market, the 51% correction on Bitcoin. So the reason that I'm talking about all this is that this is what I believe is inevitably going to happen. And it's going off of Plan B's analysis, actually. Okay. So
You're
just
scrolling through
going
there
to a
fast. I'm trying. What
I'm
are
going
you
to a
trying to get?
specific tweet. I'm going to a specific tweet. So here we go. So right here, Plan B, right? He called August would the month close, the closing price on Bitcoin at the end of the month would be higher than 47K. Got that right. Called September higher than 43K. Got that right. October 61K new monthly close, all-time high. Got that right as well with a 3% rounding error, close enough for him. His targets are November 98K and December 135K. A lot of people that study Bitcoin are in the same school of thought. If November closes with 98K Bitcoin, it's expected that ETH would be at least 5,000, right? At least 5,000, 5,500, maybe even closer to 6,000. So that's what we're basically looking at here in the next like 22, 23 days, which is not a lot of time. So the reason why
I
bring all this
love that
up,
he's using one of my favorite billions gifs. I am not uncertain. Great show and relevant gif. Yeah, so I like this guy. So I'm with you, Pio, in the fact that the consensus is that the market will continue to go up.
and so my question is, my question is like, so if I buy a doodle right now at 1.35 ETH, the way that I'm looking at it is I'm essentially making a bet that doodles are just effectively mispriced. Right. You can look at the price of a doodle, you can look at the price of a Bored Ape and look at the price of a Cool Cat, for example. And I think that you're basically saying that the doodle should be valued closer to those two projects than at the price that it's at now, because I think making a bet that it's going to keep up with ETH ripping to say 6K and that I won't be able to get the doodle for a cheaper price in a few weeks, I think is the wrong bet to make. But I don't know if either of you have comments on that, any thoughts on that, because
I
that's what
do.
I'm wrestling with.
And
Yes.
also, if you could pin some of these comments, that'd be great because there are people that are present as well here beyond us, the commenters. There have been
I was
great,
talking.
there have been
I
some
was
great
talking.
comments popping up here, including Shriyash, whose hilarious comments get further attacking every day. I'm old and wrinkly, apparently, but I have a good camera, so that's true, Shriyash. And if you take things a step further, you can get plastic surgery, and it gets even better.
I think you look great. I'll get you Botox at 40 for your birthday, but I don't even think you need it.
So
what are you going to say, Nick? Spit it out. Jesus.
last comment. I think this is going to drop again. That's
Yeah, your
my
0.8 target isn't necessarily bad. My big picture thesis is that if you're buying now, you have to be willing to accept the pain that there's a greater 50% chance that priced in ETH, not necessarily priced in USD, but priced in ETH, if ETH continues to move up, a lot of these projects will likely fall. But you're buying in on a long-term horizon, then it can make sense because it's not always easy to perfectly time the bottom at anything. So even if you get your money in good, if it drops 20% in ETH, but on a 6-month horizon, it goes up 3 or 4x, then you've effectively outperformed ETH. So it just depends on like your conviction level there. I mean, and the ETH price or just the coolness of the market is also affecting blue chips. I just looked up CryptoPunks are below a 90 ETH floor, albeit lightly. There's 3 below 90 ETH, 87.95 and 2 at 89. But that project's dropping a little bit, but I am seeing some action. Most of the action that I'm seeing is kind of in the mid chip range. So I think a lot of people coming back from NFT NYC are bullish on apes, and apes themselves are expensive, so they're bullish on the derivative Mutant Ape Yacht Club, and that's actually performed pretty well over the last 24 hours. It got back above a 4 ETH floor despite Ethereum above Meebits, despite
Wow,
Ethereum
very
being
nice.
at 3,600. So I think that there's selective good opportunities to be had, but once again, you have to be buying with the understanding that a lot of these things aren't going to be quick flips or quick swings, nothing near like what we saw in the bull run.
You know what's difficult for me is just like how awesome we are, like how good we are at our trades here. And that's just all I got to say is like, really, we just
We're
keep
the best there is. There's no
what we
second
keep
best.
saying keeps coming true. And we don't deliver financial advice on this show, but if we were financial advisors, we'd be fucking killing it, you know?
And to give you a live example, and PO, you were there for this, but during the Nifty Gateway bear market and kind of just the NFT bear market of April and part of May of last year, X copy, you could have bought in April for $1,100. It went down to 800 at the absolute peak,
Unbelievable.
right? So like you could have been mad and you could have papered your $1,100 buy when it went down to 800 and been like, crap, I'm down 30%. But Pio, you know the price better than me. I think it's above 10,000, maybe 15,000, maybe 20,000 now. So the buying in the bear at 1,100 on a 3-week horizon was a potential mistake because you didn't catch the absolute bottom. But on a 6-month horizon, you 20x'd your money. So that's the kind of moves that you have to be looking at, is like, and that's the kind of patience and tolerance you have to have, is the understanding that it could get more painful, but if you have a high conviction on the long run, like you're fine with that short-term pain because it go out. But the problem is a lot of people would have bought that X copy at 1,100. It would have broken down below 900 and they would have panic sold saying that was a stupid buy. It's done, because they don't have the conviction for a long time hold. And that's something I personally, struggle with too. But, there's some moves in mutants. There's some moves in some other projects. I'm of the volition that you have the opportunity to be patient. And I also believe that you have the opportunity to just wait for the swings back up. So like, for example, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, it's at a 4 right now, right? Like if you believe that long-term it's going to go to a 10, why don't you just wait for it to get to a 5 and for the rest of the market to start looking really, really healthy, right? Then in that regard, you could have been sitting in ETH longer and have done well. I also think that no one in this bull run has probably ever even placed an offer on an NFT. But like in a bear market, offers is another strategy you should look at as well, because you can get a way more valuable buy-in, and it kind of forces you to be patient. And you're also not having to deal with the gas fees, which can be a huge issue, right? But like you can't, like right now, if you threw a bunch of offers at mutants, it probably wouldn't work because like there's a short-term trend of people buying right now. But if you really, really like a project and you have high conviction in it, but you're sitting in a bear market, throw out some offers. Throw out some offers 20% below the floor. Good chance you get someone to take it. And now your effective buy-in is 20% lower than if you just bought the floor.
So I want to address and P.S. I'm the greatest. So on the comments that I've seen here, I just wanted to address. Some are actually relevant, others aren't. Ones that are not relevant real quick. Nick seems a bit down today, Coke bender all night or what? So I was at a dinner event last night, the Bored Ape Yacht Club dinner event, where I was with a lot of great people who all spent $2,000 to go to a dinner and were all qualifying why they're the greatest, which was really cool. Then, but highly recommend it. In terms of actual market related items, where we saw some comments here, did we actually mint Cosmic Labs or buy them? We did not. I didn't. I don't know if PO did, but I still like that one, but I did not join.
Did it blow up? It 2x, right?
Yeah, so wouldn't be surprised, but you're still at break even then now at this point if you got a 2x because of gas prices. And then what was there? I think those were the main items there. Last one was someone said, "What's the best buy for $100?" In general, if you're buying NFTs for $100, you're probably like it's a very risky position to be in the $100 place. But if you are, I'm gonna say Cosmic Labs right now, just because we mentioned it yesterday. Why not give it a go? But basically, if you're buying anything for $100, expect that to be stupid money and it to disappear. And you're going to pay another 100 on gas, so you can't. You got to pay.
Solana has opportunities at $100.
That's fair. There you go. So I don't have a good answer though in terms of which Solana projects are the best to buy right now. Maybe you do.
I can't say that I have the answer. The one that I bought yesterday is up like 10% or 12%. I saw Nick bought into it. Nick, you bought a dozen of the frogs yesterday on Solana, right?
Yeah, it's too easy to buy on Solana. That's the one downside is like you click it and it just like instantly processes and you just get like a dopamine hit. So like in a span of like 15 minutes, I had bought 10. The floor is actually holding up fine. It's at like a 0.75 SOL. But the quick thing on like the Cosmic Ducks, like, so I just looked at someone that minted to buy 3. It was 0.25. So that's like, let's see, 0.25 divided by 3. My brain's not working. It was to minute. It was 0.0833. So like I don't know why everyone's excited about 0.125. It's like it went up 0.04 and you're going to pay a 10% royalty fee probably. So you're going to make 0.1005. So if you mint, yeah,
this
you're
was
up
at
30%.
0.05 is I think where it was yesterday when we were.
If you bought the dip, but you would have had to pay enough gas that you would have been paying it at 0.08 anyways. I'm just saying, like, this is the state of the Ethereum market where it's so ugly that like a project goes up 30% and people are like, "Did you mint Cosmic Labs, bro?" Like we're talking about like stock market gains. Like I could go buy a stock and have it go up 20%.
I like this one. One last thing, Pia, if you could bring up the Discord thing promotion. And remember to subscribe and like to this channel down below. We really appreciate your support and love to have you in the community.
So like I'm only buying things that stand the test of time. Are I don't know about is it a great team behind this? The art is like it should have been on Solana. That's where pixel art is doing well. I actually like the art. This is actually higher quality pixel art, in my opinion. I think it is a solid project. In a bull run, I'm not even joking. At 0.06, I would have minted like 50 of these. But we're not in that market. We're in a market where it's 0.025 to mint anything. And so the low end of the market, it's just a struggle bus.
I still love Cosmic Labs. I could see this thing going to 0.5.
But what is Cosmic Labs? Like, who is Cosmic Labs?
It doesn't matter. Look at the picture.
Well, you said you love Cosmic Labs. These are Cosmic Ducks. Okay?
Yeah, when you click on the project, it says Cosmic Labs.
But like, a lab sounds like they're doing a lot of things, you know?
You can stake it and you can earn tokens, and I like it. So that's all I'm saying. It's a crappy one, but at $100, or well, now it's ridiculous. $400, $600. Yesterday you could have gotten in at a cheaper amount. Last thing just to address is Shriyash. You keep killing it in the comments with the commentary. For example, he said, Nick, that you can, if you want a dopamine hit, you could do Coke. It's cheaper. I'm gonna be honest. The quality of commentary continues to be wildly lowbrow from you, Shriyash. But
I bet Shriyash
really appreciate you.
Hasn't even been in a room with cocaine being done.
Well,
in his or her entire life. I'm sure they don't even know the color of it.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if he was on it right now, just based on his commentary. I mean, his quality of it is that's what it is. But anyways, I'm not going to keep disrupting the show with that sort of crap. Okay. But yeah.
So look, let me quickly comment on.
Are you going to buy this?
Because
yeah.
No, a lot of people in the audience seem very interested in this project. I think a lot of people are saying like our Cosmic Labs, our Cosmic Ducks a buy right now. And I think, and I know I sound like a broken record, but over and over again, it's kind of coming back to the main thing, which is, do you think that this is mispriced right now and will be able to keep up with the appreciation of Ethereum? And look, if we're wrong about this, I'm going to have egg on my face, like literally there's going to be an omelet on my face. There's going to be like, a dozen eggs on my face.
I mean, here's the thing, Pio. You were on Nifty Gateway. Do you remember when the market was like crashing? There were still like random pumps, like Kanye eggs pumped, faces pumped, like
Pack.
Pack pumped. There were still isolated pumps, but like it was 1 out of 10, and everything else is crashing or like at best ranging. That's what I feel like about Ethereum right now. And it's tough because in a bull market, I'm like a swing trade, buy anything that like looks like it has some momentum and just catch 2-3x dingers all day. So it's tough for me to sit on my hands. It goes against like my nature. But right now I'm trying to build some things. I'm looking at a longer term horizon. So like for me, just in the aggregate, because like in a bull run, my win rate's like 80%. And it's not because I'm great at picking projects. It's because I can read trends. I can read data. I have enough experience in this space. But in a bear market, my win rate's like 20% if I'm just trying to catch swing trades. So for me, it doesn't work for me in this environment. So if I'm buying in a bear market, I'm buying things that I think 6 months from now are going to be more valuable significantly. And so I want to try to catch like, oh, let me get some cosmic ducks at 0.1 and swing them up to a 0.4. But I just know it's just so hard to do in that market that like I could justify why, but I just know that just the natural market conditions makes that scenario not super like high. And so for me, it's like, I'm just going to buy this stuff. Like I'd be much more willing just to buy a mutant ape, you know what I mean? And sit on
and hold it,
or a doodle and sit on it.
And I know Nick has something to say I want to throw to him, but just real quick, what was the one project in the past week where you could have bought in at like 0.15 and you knew it was going to go up to some capacity, maybe not to 0.4, but if you had bought 10 of them, you could have slept easy that night and now you could sell them for more. There's one obvious project. Can you guys think of it?
Smiles.
Yeah.
I would have bought Smiles.
It was hanging out at 0.15.
What is the floor at?
It was at 0.25. So like,
what do you mean
I don't know what it is, right? I can check. Sorry, I'm on the stream, right? I'm like contributing with you. I got to see what it's worth now, but
we need a production assistant.
I'm sorry that I'm asking.
I want a dossier for every episode with just stats.
It's at point.
I want to be like, yeah.
So cool. You're up basically to where you paid your gas.
Well, it was a little bit higher before, but the point I was making was like, this was a bet where you could feel good about it. But yeah, I mean, gas is at 102 Gwei right now. If somebody wants to buy something, now's not the worst time.
What?
That's better than it has been. It's better than it has been.
Gwei. One quick thing to add. Sorry, did you want to? Were you finishing?
No. I want to hear what you. No, I want to hear what you have to say.
I want to reference one of the commenters because they were asking about crypto Mories, and that's one that I recommend pulling up. Crypto Mories. David All had mentioned this to us when we were out at dinner, and he was a big fan of them. So, some people think it's the next Cool Cats or something like that. It's hard. It's hard to be the next. You're muted.
There's a moon in the sky like a big pizza pie. That's
Amores. So I actually have a video where I did this. There's in front of a ice cream store the other day. I did the lactose intolerance guide to ice cream around New York City, and I was doing videos of that. And I opened up to literally Amore is one of the places in Greenwich Village. Highly recommend you check it out. But great place. Didn't have to go to the bathroom from it, so that's great. In terms of crypto mores,
they're good.
They look cool. The art does remind me of whatever you
the
call
guy
it.
Looks like the guy from Futurama, like the alien with like yeah. So this looks like a Futurama Cool Cat.
You know,
are people going to give a shit about these 6 months from now? I think that's what people like haven't.
I think that's the main point, and I agree. That's why I bought into Doodles. Is I'm like, you're not gonna get Doodles is still a major risk, to be completely honest, because like
but it's a better bet than like 90% of the stuff out there. That's the problem, is that like people are like, what they're doing is they're evaluating projects that they think that they will do well in the long run based on the current projects out there. What you have to do is you have to factor in 6 months from now, there's going to be 6 months worth of trends changing, new projects coming on board that are going to steal people's attention. You have to buy something that is going to 6 months from now still be relevant. Bertinus Johnson just said 10 KTF. Perfect example. I don't even look at 10 KTF prices anymore. I've looked at Frog Boys 15 times today. 10 KTF, I literally haven't checked the prices in a week.
And you have 10 ETH in it.
Because I know that
even with a massive investment.
Yeah. Just because I know that 6 months from now, this is probably a relevant project that's doing cool things, and my value probably has gone up. But like if I was buying something like Crypto Mories, Like you have to have the conviction on the long-term holds no matter. So you can buy crypto mores if you think they're going to hold up for 6 months. It's your money, do it. But like, I think that's the mentality you have to be having in this market right now. NFT
Yeah.
world's another one. Like, I think that's a cool pseudo metaverse play, and I'm pretty sure the floor is holding up phenomenally well for that project.
One
Yeah.
of the things you could have gotten into was yesterday, Olympus DAO. The price on Ohm hit 838, which is a pretty low price. I'd bought into this. Sorry, I'd bought into this at 1178, and it's literally just like dropped precipitously ever since. I'm up 11.4% on interest, but down 33% on price or something like that.
Aren't Ponzi schemes fun?
Yeah, it's really fun. But that's actually, I bought into this saying this is a Ponzi scheme. Let's see what this $1,000 turns into. So that's where
Yeah.
we're at.
Yeah, mine, my investment there, I invested a quarter ETH. I'm almost positive it's not outperforming ETH. And quite frankly, I think it's incredibly unlikely that it's going to outperform ETH. I just don't really see that being the case. So, I mean, I guess, Nick, like when you're like, how are you going to approach this if everything happens the way that we're predicting and ETH keeps going up and the NFT market responds in the way that we're expecting, which is that the prices that are denominated in ETH tend to go down? Will you be looking to, are you currently converting fiat into ETH in preparation, which is what I'm doing? Are you ready to deploy ETH during the bear market? You know, what is your approach going to be?
I'm not really making a lot of moves, to be completely honest. Like basically the moves that you had to make, if you wanted to move over to ETH, I'd sold off a few. I'd brought in like 4 or 5 ETH out of my portfolio of like low conviction projects. I probably could add more. I could have sold more, may not have been a bad idea, but I'm mostly in high conviction projects at the moment, or ones that basically just became completely liquid. So like the like Lonely Frog Lambo Club, like who cares about that one basically? Or some of these other ones which like just didn't go anywhere. 10K TF, I'm in the ones that I'm in basically, and I'm just holding and waiting to see what happens. I have some ETH. I'm curious to see what happens with these NFTs. I don't think the NFTs are disappearing.
And that makes sense what you're doing logically, because logically in a bear market, there's a limited amount of opportunities that you have high conviction in. So you're probably already in them. And
yeah,
then it's like
it's literally in traditional investing, the best play is you buy great valued things and you hold on to them. That's
be back in 1 minute. Sorry.
that's the best play. So that's what my approach is. In terms of ETH, yeah, I'd like a little more ETH. The dinner that I went to last night, the price of that is going to continue to go up in price. But outside of that, dude, I mean, you want more ETH right now, like you're saying. I have an auto buy that auto buys ETH, auto buys Bitcoin at least every month, if not every couple of weeks, basically. So that system just keeps going. So like there's no real other action on my part. If something goes way up and I have a bunch of Bitcoin and we're hovering at like 150 grand, maybe I sell some Bitcoin there. I don't know. Like there's really not, like I have so much conviction in this whole space over the long term that like I don't need to make that many moves right now. Like in fact, me making a lot of short-term moves has literally consistently for me underperformed everything.
Yeah,
So,
the only time like the flips work is just in a stupid bull run where there's just so much liquidity coming into the space that you're minting X, you don't even care about the name, and you just know you can flip it for a 3x. Like I remember I minted like this project called like Super Bunnies. Like, has everyone even heard anything about that in like 3 months? But like I minted like 30 of them and they like 4x before reveal, and I just sold them all in 2 days. Like it's just bonkers when you think that was like the norm. And now it's like people would like sell their soul for an opportunity at that.
The pre-mutant run-up combined with loot, those two things, basically, that was like the peak of the bull run back in August, essentially. And anything that you bought just went up, basically. Literally anything. If you just bought anything, you were watching making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% in sometimes in minutes, and sometimes you'd flip it, you'd double your money. You'd buy back in, you'd increase it 50%.
Like floors would double in an hour. Like not even joking. Like a floor could double on a project in an hour.
So I was buying in and out of those, and then I'd be like, wait, this is going higher. Okay, buy back in and see if this goes up. Like it was stupid. But at this point, anything you're buying should be for the long haul. That's the bottom line. And if you're buying anything for the short term, you want to be flipping coins. That's where you want to be doing short term.
Or you want to be on Solana, where like if you buy something that doesn't work out, you're down $400, not down 3,400 in gas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so which one? This is a good question then, because I'm hearing more Solana from you here. Solana versus Matic and Immutable X. Where are you at today?
Solana. There's no debate. And as you know, I have a vested interest in Matic. So like I'm being genuine when I say that Solana is just winning on the NFT side right now. Like that's where a lot of people are launching new projects. That's where but a lot of it's like pump and dumps, like this marble thing. So like it was one, and it was one. Easy Eat says, dude, take a look at this project. 30 minutes later, it's at a 2, and now it's down to a 0.8. So that's one thing to be cognizant of, is that there is just a lot of pump and dump, quick in and out plays on Solana, and that's what Easy Eat does. He like just looks for 2X's and then he exits. So you still have to be cautious on there. You can't just like blindly buy things. Like the project that I bought was Frog Boys, just because they have this video on their Twitter that's just legendary. I think you guys maybe brought it up on the show yesterday, because I think Nick was saying like this is actually kind of cool, like their website and in the video that they had. It's just good content where I'm like, oh, this project's gonna like, you know, maybe stand the test of time. But here's the thing, like the blue chip on Solana right now, Solana Monkey Business
Tungsten cubes. Oh, okay.
No, the Solana Monkey Business is a 10 ETH floor. So I take two things away from that. One is that this is a project that has this is a platform that has a project on it that is the blue chip of it and has a 10 ETH floor. Show me another sidechain L2 that has that. You're not going to be able to find one unless the supply is like 15, right? But then secondary, it also shows the potential of how early it could be on Solana if the blue chip project on there only has a 10 ETH floor. You know, if that's the Bored Ape Yacht Club of Solana, then you say, oh, okay, there's a 4x move from here. What does that spell for the other projects? I've also seen a lot of people talking on Twitter, like, buckle up for the, you know, Solana NFT bull run. We'll see if that actually like happens, but if that happens, like rising tide lifts all ships. But yeah, I'm just a realist, which is that, you know, Ethereum, I think right now is only to buy long-term plays or like really good quality blue chip projects. For anything else, if you're trying to be a trader, if you're trying to swing, like it's all happening on Solana. And then I think the next best bet is Matic as well. I think the benefit of Matic long term is that it's built on Ethereum. People don't care about that now because Ethereum is dragging ass. But the thing is this happens every time Ethereum goes up. It happened in May. Ethereum goes up to the point where it makes gas unsustainable. So everyone moves to another chain and fucks around with it. And then eventually Ethereum figures its shit out and they move back to Ethereum. That's literally like in May, it was all about altcoin shitcoins, and people couldn't do it on Ethereum. So they all moved over to Binance. And like Binance was the hottest thing in May. Everyone was trading shitcoins on Binance. But then once the market crashed and Ethereum became affordable again, then everything like shifted back there. So on a long-term horizon, I do think that there's value to things like Immutable X or Matic that are L2s, but they're built on the Ethereum ecosystem. But if you're looking at like a 2-month trend, Ethereum gas is not fixing itself in 2 months. It's not fixing itself in 3 months. It's just not. So for a 2-month, 3-month trend, I think the trend is Solana.
BFresh clarified the other day that Matic is not an L2, it's a side chain. And the distinction there is what he was saying is that requires Matic to maintain their security because it's not actually built it's not on top of Ethereum in the same way. So Immutable X, on the other hand, is a layer 2. So that's one argument towards Immutable versus Matic. I don't fully understand the nuance of side chains. So I said, Be Fresh, you should come on and school people on that matter.
Yeah,
But
and also the you have to understand that like 95% of people like don't give a shit about what you just said.
yeah,
Like because like remember when I remember in the early NFT bull run,
thanks for that.
people no, not what
No, I'm
you
just kidding.
said,
I'm fucking
not
around.
you, but
I'm
you know what I'm
fucking
saying.
around.
Like that
I get it.
statement.
No.
My point is that I remember in April and May NFTs, people were like, is the metadata on IFPS? You know what I mean? Is the metadata frozen? You know what I mean? Like that was like a thing that like certain people really cared about. And then you just have seen this bull run, and obviously no one cares about in the aggregate whether metadata is IFPS or frozen or stuff like that. I think that's the same thing with like the Matic versus immutable argument. My thing is, and I've said this about anyone that says IMX, is show me someone making money on NFTs on IMX consistently, and then I'll move there. Once again, I'm a data guy. Easy Eats has been guapping on Solana. I know multiple other people that have been guapping on Solana NFTs. Therefore, I have data to suggest to myself I should be on Solana and learning about this space, right? Until something actually does something, then it's all theoretical, aka Cardano. Cardano has been talking about doing something for 18 years, maybe 35 years. Who knows? But they haven't done anything actually yet. People talked about Cardano NFTs. Haven't heard of one.
Yeah, I feel like Solana is what people were speculating Cardano would be. You know, like I feel like in January, everyone was about
Literally, yes.
Cardano. Cardano's going to $10. It's because Alex Becker pumped it. Literally, this guy is just permeating, every fucking corner of this space, bringing normies in, quite frankly, in the wrong direction. And yeah, I mean, like I think everybody. What people thought Cardano was going to be is Solana. And I agree with what Nick said, that after buying that NFT on Solana yesterday and taking a look at the Solana marketplace and just going through the process, I'm very pleased with the Solana system. And I think if some notable creators, some people that have track records in the NFT space go to Solana, that's when you'll see a little bit more.
Yeah, like
adoption.
I have a personal friend that was going to launch a project on Ethereum a month ago, and they hired someone to rebuild the entire smart contract on Solana. And Yantek, come on, Sass, there's some gains on Cardano NFTs. Yeah, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's like some gains on Arbitrum and some gains on Immutable X. What I'm saying is like I need to see a consistent trend. I mean, like hearing from colleagues that there's like actually sustainable gains to be had on the platform before I consider it legitimate.
And if a tree falls in a forest and no one's there to hear it, like who gives a shit,
Yeah, like I can't name one Cardano NFT. I can name 10 Solana NFT projects off the top of my head. Easy Eats can probably name 100. I looked on Magic Eden today. There's 5 projects launching on Magic Eden today. Like 5 on Solana. You know what I mean? Is there even 5 Ethereum projects launching today? I don't think so. There's probably 2.
Pio's out here posting that it's a good time to buy on ETH while ETH is ripping and Gwei is down low. So which ones are you buying here, Pio?
And also 86 Gwei is not good Gwei. Literally.
Oh no, it's not. But right now it's good. Right now,
relatively good. Yeah, but like in May, in June, like Gwei was like 50 Gwei. I remember launching a project and the Gwei was at 50, and we're like, this sucks. This is gonna ruin our launch. Like normal Gwei was like 25.
I remember when Gwei was 17 in my days.
Yeah, I remember when you were 17.
Yeah, you actually don't.
So, Nick, you asked me what I would. Nick was asking what I would be buying if I was buying on ETH. I'd probably be adding to my 10 KTF bag, but I also think that we're going to be able to add to our 10 KTF bags for cheaper within 30 days. And I think that's the case with everything. And if I'm wrong about this, then I'm going to have egg on my face because I've been basically saying it over and over again on all platforms on Twitter.
No, because here's the thing though. If you're wrong, you're going to be wrong by like 10 or 15%. Like the way people talk about like, oh, the bottom's in, you got to buy the bottom. Like if you've ever experienced a bottom, nothing bottoms out and then like all of a sudden like the NFT market like doubles overnight. It's a slow move up. So you can wait and actually see these projects start to trend up and miss 10, 20% of the theoretical gains, but also avoid the risk of another 50% drawdown. And then you're still capturing most of the upside. You know, like people do this in stocks and equities as well. Like no one catches knives. They wait for something to bottom out, consolidate, and a lot of people wait for confirmation of the move up by 10 or 20% before they get in.
Straight up. Well, any closing thoughts on anything going into this potential bear market? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I bought 12 Frog Boys, and they're not really moving too much today. So get on those Frog Boys. Pump my bags for me. Get them up. Get them up. Or else I'm trying to run up my bag on Solana from 25K to 250K. And right now, it's not moving.
Please join the Discord.
Subscribe.
I got nothing else. Just smash that like button, smash that subscribe, hop in the Discord, and yeah, let people know how much you prefer me over everybody else on this show.
Master Nutta, nice name. Will people dump NFTs to buy Christmas presents? Maybe people buy NFTs for Christmas presents.
Exactly.
I'll leave you at that.
That's where they're going. We got the Christmas and Hanukkah trade coming up.
Hanukkah trade, you know, Nick likes the seasonal trades. Everybody, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please join our Discord. If you join the Discord now, there might be, just maybe, there might be a snapshot taken in the near future. I'm just saying.
I'm actually excited for all the NFT projects that are going to come out holiday themed. I love projects that are relevant for 30 days out of the year. It's always a great buy. Remember when we talked about those pumpkin heads? Nick, didn't you buy one?
No, I got airdropped one to me. They made a Nifty Nick pumpkin head. And by the way, I'm not hungover for MMA pod.
He doesn't even drink. Okay, he's the best there is. Okay, he literally eats a very strict diet, stricter than Tom Brady himself, because he's keeping himself in peak performance.
I did lose my voice though.
We're recovering mentally, physically, emotionally, and maybe even sexually for the next NFT bull run. So we're getting ready. We're keeping healthy. We're getting ready for the next real run. That's where the money's made.
That's where it is. Thank you to everybody. We're still talking.
Any closing thoughts?
Thank you, everyone.
No.
Join the Discord, man. Subscribe to the channel. Come on, let's get the subscribers up, get the likes up. We want to
Pia, what are those clothing shots? And what does a snapshot of a Discord even mean? Like, what do you do at that point?
I think we're going to have to put a form in and have everybody submit their wallet and their Discord name is what I think is the most reasonable.
There's whitelist tools. We'll set it up. Don't worry about that part. We'll get it out there. And so there may be something coming.
I'm surprised that you still even want to do this. I figured that you just didn't even want to do the show anymore after today.
Can we end the show?